Morning, everybody. It's Mr. Chase. As you can see here, we're starting chapter 15 in our book. There we go. I think that looked a little uneven. So we have 3 lessons in this chapter: nutrition, the digestive system itself, and the excretory system. So let's start with lesson 1, nutrition, which is what we're going to be working on today. There we go. All right. So here's our key concept. Why do we eat? Which you probably have some sort of idea about that already because you're in 7th grade. Why does your body need each of the 6 groups of nutrients? Notice the 6 groups thing. So that's 6 things you for sure are going to have to remember. So we'll talk about how to do that in class. You guys did a great job on the last chapter with the 5 functions of the skin because we used that little trick that I showed you. So we're going to come up with the same sort of a thing for these 6 nutrients. And then why is eating a balanced diet important? And you probably have some ideas about that too. All right, here's your vocabulary: calorie, protein, carbohydrate, fat, vitamin, mineral, and those are the main ones. So here's a calorie. Here's a definition. A calorie, or cal, is the amount of energy it takes to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. All right, that's a very technical scientific definition, and you're just going to need to remember it, okay? And we'll maybe discuss how to do that in class. All foods give your body energy to use. Most foods, I should say. Some of them are so junky that they pretty much don't give you any energy at all, or very little relative to how many calories they have. The amount of energy in food is measured in calories. So that's the sort of like gasoline of your body is measured in calories. The amount of energy a person needs depends on factors including, and here are what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 things you need to remember. All right. So the amount of energy you need depends on your weight, your age, your activity level, and gender. And probably most of those things make sense to you, but that's another list of 4 things you're going to want to figure out how to remember those things. Food is made of nutrients. Nutrients are substances that provide energy and materials for cell growth, development, and repair. All right. Here's a check. Why do we eat? To get those nutrients that we need and all the energy. The 6th group of nutrients, here's that list again, so you know it's important because it's repeating: proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. Another list, so we got to figure that out. Each nutrient has a different function in the body, and they are all needed for homeostasis. That's keeping the body in a good, steady state. A protein. All right, a protein is a large molecule that is made of amino acids and contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes sulfur. So one of the things that I wanted to go over with you in class, hopefully, is show you an actual microscopic image of a protein molecule. And I may have you do something with that as a project, too. I'm still working on that. All right, so there are combinations of 20 different amino acids make up the proteins in the body. So that tells you that amino acids are a part of proteins. All right, we're doing a little bit of biochemistry here, a very little, teeny bit. Protein comes from the Greek word proteos, I think. Proteos makes the first quality. It's kind of a random thing. It means the first quality, and it is super important in your body. Protein is very important. Proteins relay signals between cells, so they help communicate. Believe it or not, your cells in your body are talking to each other, especially in your brain, of course. They help protect against disease, proteins do. They provide support to cells and speed up chemical reactions. There are tons of wonder questions even so far in our little discussion here about lesson 1. So many wonder questions you should be having. For example, just on this slide, proteins relay signals between cells. How do proteins relay signals between cells? That's an easy wonder question. Protect against disease. How do they do that? How do proteins protect against disease? Provide support to cells. Wow, that's such a vague statement. How do proteins provide support to cells? More importantly to me would be what is it they do? How do they do that exactly? And then speed up chemical reactions. Again, how do proteins speed up chemical reactions? And maybe equally importantly, why is that important or not? All right? You see how that works? You just sort of look at these facts and ask some questions about it. You should be wondering about these things. All right, carbohydrates are molecules. Again, we're talking molecular structure made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms, and are usually the body's major source of energy. All right, so many questions here you could ask. What does a carbohydrate molecule look like? Like there's diagrams and I think probably molecular, microscopic images like electron microscopes. Okay, and then they're carbohydrates are the body's major source of energy. But how? Like how do carbohydrates provide energy to the body, and why is that important? Carbohydrates are commonly starches, sugars, and fibers. So that's what provides carbohydrates are those things: starches, sugars, and fiber. Fats, or lipids, another word for fats, so that means the same thing, provide energy and help your body absorb vitamins. Again, so many good questions could come out of this slide. Fats are a major part of the cell membrane. That's the area surrounding the cell that kind of keeps the cell together and help insulate the body against cold temperatures, something we learned in chapter 14 about the skin. Fats are often classified as either saturated or unsaturated. Easy question would be, what's the difference between saturated and unsaturated fats? A diet high in saturated fats can increase levels of cholesterol, which can increase the risk of heart disease. Okay, and an easy question would be, how does a diet high in saturated fats do that? Vitamins are nutrients that are needed in small amounts for growth, regulating body functions, and preventing some disease. So a question that I happen to know about a little bit because I saw some crazy videos on YouTube is what happens when you get too much of a vitamin or mineral for that matter. We'll get to minerals. It's pretty terrible what can happen, especially to children. So that's something you could wonder about and get some interesting information on. Minerals are inorganic nutrients. So these are, we're definitely doing organic and inorganic chemistry here, just a little bit. Minerals are inorganic nutrients that do not contain carbon, which help the body regulate many chemical reactions. So again, we're talking about the body now kind of as a chemistry reaction, all the things happening. There are tons of chemical reactions going on in your body all the time, and so minerals become very important for that, for maintaining that and facilitating that. Again, easy questions would be, what happens if you don't get enough of the right minerals? What happens if you get too much of a mineral? And what are the minerals and vitamins for that matter? And I have a list for you that I got from Harvard if you're interested about that. All right, so here you see some of them. This is not a comprehensive list, to be sure. So vitamin B2 or riboflavin, where you get it, what the benefits are. And there's more. Vitamin C, you probably have heard about. Vitamin A, again, some more sources. This is all in your book, and there's a much better list on the Harvard website, and I'll show that to you. It's pretty high level, but it's still good to show you that there's way more than you're seeing here. Calcium, iron, zinc, okay, probably things that most of you have heard about. Groups of nutrients. Your body needs water for chemical reactions to occur. All right, so that water that we drink helps our body in all kinds of ways. Your body takes in water when you eat or drink and loses water when you sweat, urinate, or breathe. Okay, we saw the sweating thing in the last chapter when we put the plastic bag over our hands, and you saw that your body is constantly putting off water vapors, and you can see that when, or you should have seen it when you put the plastic bag on your hand. So we're always losing water, even when we're not exercising. When lost water is not replaced, you become what's called dehydrated, which is bad, by the way. And why does your body need nutrients? All right, you should be able to answer or have some idea about that now, and you definitely will after you study lesson 1. Healthy eating. Okay, nutritious foods come from the major food groups, which include grains, vegetables, fruits, oils, milk products, and meats and beans. A healthful diet includes carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, and water. So that's all the 6 things again. Again, you see that repeated several times, you know it's important. Here are some of the daily recommended amounts. This book was written a while ago, 2012, I think, or 2013. So you might research for your age and see what you can find out about what's required for you. And notice that it does vary here. They kind of group it by age and gender. So that would be a great, I think that's going to be maybe our project for this lesson, is to have you guys research what you need for both nutrients and food groups. That might be a really good project for you. All right, key concept. Why is eating a balanced diet important? You should have some idea about that now, but your answer should include something about how it provides the nutrients that your body needs to function and to maintain a state of homeostasis. In your case, you guys, since you're younger, it also helps you grow. And if you're lacking important nutrients while you're growing, then that has some pretty devastating effects for the long term, for your whole life, that you can't make up for. So really important to pay attention to that. Food labels help you determine the amount of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and other substances in food. We may have time to go over this in class a little bit. I'm hoping we do, because these nutrition labels are really helpful and very interesting when you look at them. All right, people eat food to obtain the energy. So that's one thing their body needs to function. Proteins are one of the 6 groups of nutrients. Okay, that 6th group is really important. Group of 6. Evaluating food labels can help you eat a balanced diet. Hello. All right. So which of these terms describes the energy it takes to raise 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree centigrade? You should all answer B. Notice that calorie is capitalized there if you haven't already. Which of these describes a molecule made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms that functions as the major source of energy? Carbohydrates. The key word there is energy, right? Carbohydrates equal energy. Which of these large molecules made of amino acids? And that's going to be proteins. All right. Do you agree or disagree? An activity such as sleeping does not require energy. What do you think? We'll talk about it in class. All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you in class. Oh, wait. Sorry. One more. All fats in food should be avoided. Yes or no? All right. And then we're on to chapter 2, or lesson 2. Thanks, you guys.